All right, I'm here with Cici Shannon, Tallglassofcici. How tall are you?
I am 6'3".
Nice. Um, so I just want to get right into it. Can you take me to the beginning of your own fitness journey and bring me all the way up to present day?
As far as me, like transferring my body or like career wise?
Your own, yes, your body, yourself.
Okay, so throughout my life, I played basketball since I was a kid all the way up until college. And I always had a hearty appetite, but I was naturally slim. I say this all the time, I'm built like my father, naturally. Like, so he's tall, he's thin, and I'm naturally an ectomorph. And so when we gain weight, it goes to like our stomach, and we gain fat, it goes to like our stomach, midsection area. And so I'm hooping, I'm playing basketball for years, and then I get to college, and I'm about 175 graduating from college. And so I go overseas short term, like went overseas, played basketball, did not like it, wasn't my thing. And so I moved back home, and I moved in with my ex at the time. And we're living in Minnesota. So I'm away from my family, and I moved back home in November. I moved back home in November, and I'm telling you my plan size throughout college, everything, I'm 175. I'm 6'3", 175. And so I moved back home, and I'm working like as a job as a TA. And I'm going to the gym, but I'm not really going to the gym, you know? I'm going to the gym, I'm riding a bike, I'm on the phone. I'm on the Stairmasters, I'm on the phone. Do a few squats, do a few little sit-ups, stuff like that. Do a little workout, go home, make a cooking dinner. I'm putting bacon on meatloaf. I'm frying Oreos. I'm drinking wine with the dinner. And so over time, I'm starting to feel like, oh man, these pants getting a little small. Like, these pants ain't sitting right. It's not sitting how it's supposed to be sitting. You know, I'm like over time. And so it's like a few months pass, and I go visit my college teammates. And we like all in a hot tub together. And they like, you must be happy. I'm like, what y'all mean? They like, you're a little fluffy. And I'm like, we laughing it off, joking about it. And I'm like, I go back home, and I'm like, okay, I see what they saying a little bit, but I'm like, it's a grown woman weight. I'm becoming a grown woman. I'm getting bigger here. I'm getting bigger in my midsection. I'm like, it's grown woman weight. And so at this time, I'm a TA, and I'm not really sure what I really want to do with life. Like, this is just something in between I'm doing. So before I went away for college, I used to like work out with my friends. Like, we go to the park, we do like a little workout or something. Before, when I was training to go overseas, I used to work out with my friends. And they like, you should be a personal trainer. And I'm like, no, that's not what I see myself doing. But like they keep saying, like every time I work out with them, they're like, they should be like, you're really good at this, you should be a personal trainer. I'm like, nah, ain't no money in that for real. And so then I come back from overseas, and I'm done with that, and I'm working as a TA, making like 24K, that's it, a year. Like, but I'm trying to figure out, what do I really want to do? So at the time, I like got into a real estate class, hated it, like it was horrible. So like my friends are telling me that I've gained weight, so I'm like getting into the gym more. Not switching my diet, just getting more into like working out. So I'm like on YouTube, I'm like following different trainers. So I'm like starting to go to the gym more frequently. So I'm going to the gym, and I'm like creating my own little workout style. And I'm like, okay, this is piquing my interest a little bit. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should study to become a personal trainer, because I don't know what I want to do at the time. So I get the ACE books and everything, and I'm starting to like read chapter here and there, but I'm really getting into actually liking working out, because as a kid playing basketball, I didn't like the weightlifting, cardio part of like the whole basketball thing. I just liked basketball. And so like I'm starting to actually like to work out more. And so I'm like taking the class a little bit, like maybe a chapter here, there, and then we get to the point where me and my ex break up. So I leave Minnesota, and I moved back home. And I moved back home, and I went to the gym export one time with my mom. And this is the first time I've actually like come across a scale. And so I get on the scale, and I'm 213. So I'm going from being skinny as hell my whole life, like 175, thin, basketball player, and I get on the scale and I'm like, damn, like this is happening in a short period of time. I'm talking about from November to July, I put on this weight. And so I started at the time I moved back home with my mom, and my mom does not cook. My mom does not cook, and at the time I don't have a job, so I'm broke. So figuring out what to eat is all on me. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm actually monitoring what I'm spending on food. At this point, I'm actually taking acknowledgement to what I'm putting in my body. So I'm going to Aldi's, and I'm like, all right, so I'm on a budget. So at this point, I'm meal prepping, but not intentionally. Meal prepping, but for a poor person. Mm-hmm. So I'm right now what I'm gonna eat, and at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. So not only am I figuring out what I'm going to eat, meal prepping unintentionally, I'm just trying to figure out what am I gonna do with my life. So I'm working out more. I'm okay, let me take this class more serious. Let me really get into this. So I started getting into the class more, and I'm paying attention. So that's why I started learning about nutrition and everything, and that's what got me into losing weight. So I kind of lost the weight intentionally, but unintentionally. But at this point, it's not necessarily weight, because I've never been a big person. It's just my stomach, my midsection area. So that's how I got to that was my first fitness journey. Okay, that's what got me into training. I started in the gym more. I started paying attention to what I'm eating. One, because I can't afford everything anymore, and two, because I'm learning more. Mm-hmm. So that was the beginning.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, we're here. Well, not necessarily present day, but where you left off. So, what were your workouts like? Were they not necessarily what you did, not how you did, but were they hard? Were they easy? What type of things were you doing in the gym before you became, knowledgeable of what to do?
So in the beginning, it was random. It was so random. But I've always been an athlete, so I'm used to a hardcore culture. So I feel I have to, if a good workout is a hard workout in the beginning to me, my heart rate gotta be up. So I'm doing crazy stuff. I'm on the Stairmaster. I'm using battle ropes. I'm doing a whole bunch of random stuff in the beginning, working out, before I started to learn more so the importance of a foundation of weightlifting and everything. So in the beginning, it was random, super random, and it was different most of the time. I didn't have a structure set for what I was gonna do every day. Okay. It was just random in the beginning.
Okay, mm-hmm. And then upon learning, studying for ACE and mm-hmm. Becoming certified, was that what made you, obviously more knowledgeable, but change the workouts up? Did you follow, go by the book, or did you just learn what you learned and, created your own, type of system?
Over time, I started getting more into the science of working out. So it was more so after ACE, I learned a lot via YouTube, and also was another trainer at my gym who started teaching me different techniques. Okay, you lift this way and stuff like that. And I always played basketball, so I knew the foundation. I knew how to squat, clean press, deadlift, stuff like that. So over time, it was more so of a lot of focusing more on science, and then a lot of different workouts with different trainers at my gym too, the studio I started training out of.